Hi. Whoops. Alright, I spent way too long trying to think about how I want to approach this video, so I'm just going to rip the band-aid off and I'm going to get straight to the point. First up, I'd like to thank you for the support that you've given over the First-Person series. However, there is not going to be a new episode of First-Person McPherson. My life priorities have completely changed and I've had to take things in a completely different direction, and there's just not enough time for me to work on this YouTube project anymore. I know a lot of people were only here for the first person, but if you haven't clicked off the video and unsubscribed, I'll go into exactly what's been happening and why I won't be continuing the series. Then you can unsubscribe. The reason it took me so long to make this video to begin with was I really wanted to try to revive this series, but holy shit, I could not get a moment to do so. Ever since the end of the last episode, I have been busy for several months straight for different reasons. First, I was busy with work throughout all of August, which then bled into almost all of September. Then October, I took part in NaNoWriMo. Then November, as I was starting to calm down, RuneScape decided to release Leagues 4. I did come back briefly in order to do the Extreme to see if I could put myself back in the mood to play Final Fantasy XIV, but the Extreme was such a miserable experience that it actually put me off the game for a while. And to round it all off, I started getting into game development. This is all on top of my normal work schedule and regular streaming. And any free time I do have, I tend to be working on something else anyway because I've forgotten how to relax. Now, I mean, it's not like I hadn't done anything. I'd recorded a handful of things. Oh, fuck me, I feel like I've been out for a month. I think I'll just take one more day to... Hold on, did somebody have a Fortnite battle? What the fuck is this supposed to be? I think what makes this intro funnier is that it's taken me so long to get to this joke that it actually still works. But wait, I hear you say. If you were truly that desperate to finish it up, why didn't you just move all your other shit out of the way in order to do it? Did you really have to play Leagues 4? Is the game you're working on even unique and worth anybody's time? Do you even need to stream on Twitch? Why don't you get your arse back on the grind and stop bitching, you slimy ginger Elezen god? You're right. There was nothing stopping me from rearranging a lot of my life and slotting in time to log into the character and going through the game in first person and pretending that the game is much harder than it is. But it really wasn't logging on and playing that was the hard part. Video editing is fun, until you realise you're going to be spending the next 6 hours making 5 minutes. Video editing isn't something I can really multitask. It requires a lot of focus and it consumes a ton of my time. The first 3 episodes took weeks of me being an obnoxious perfectionist to do. And while I understand the more I do it, the more I'll improve and get faster over time, the time I had away to do important work gave me pause to reflect. How much do I actually like editing videos? When it comes to smaller projects, you kinda like this video right here, I actually don't mind doing it, but I clearly don't like editing enough to make a huge series. And given that we just finished the Realm Reborn 2.0 MSQ, the thought of doing this entire thing for months on end up until Endwalker, and now Dawntrail, started to become a little overwhelming. How much time was I actually going to set aside to work on the series that, let's be honest with ourselves, was flawed from day one? I just dived into this concept head first without even checking to see if it's sustainable for a long period of time. I just put the camera on and decided to see how it went. And I mean, initially I was having a ton of fun. I was having a blast trying to adjust to the new POV and playing the game from scratch, which I haven't done since 2014. And of course, if the series didn't work out, I could just abandon it. It's not like the algorithm was going to find out or anything. However, by the time I reached Carter's Cry, I began to realise something. I'm getting too good at playing in first person mode. Here's a boiling hot take for you here. Final Fantasy XIV is not a hard video game, and I have played the vast majority of this game inside and out for a decade. Once playing in first person became second nature, the challenge was essentially dead, and then it turned into, what idiot dingus bumbling twat stick tank or healer would kill first person? This isn't me saying I wasn't going to fuck up myself ever, but creating the concept of the death bank just basically put a bounty on my head and people were just waiting to see how I would die. Honestly, the account would have just been better off as just a hardcore Iron Man series. In fact, the whole thing would have actually been better if I just made it a Final Fantasy Versus episode, and then I could have brought back that whole thing. Hell, the whole series would have been a lot better if I didn't start the game all the way back on a Realm Reborn, holy shit. To remove the risk of just mumbling and complaining the entire time, I'll just nutshell everything I've spewed so far. My eyes were bigger than my stomach and I bit off way more than I could chew. This doesn't mean my YouTube channel's dead, but Firstperson McPherson is dead. And I'm sorry I didn't let you guys in on it sooner. I should have realised pretty much after the first couple of months that this series wasn't going to go anywhere. I will admit it is a little funny that I do stream on Twitch regularly, and at no point did anybody come in and ask what was going on with the series. That might be a sign. If you're still unsatisfied and annoyed by this resolution, don't worry, you could ask the Lalafels for my address to send your hate mail. We still keep in regular contact after that last video. So to finish this video up, thank you again for the support in the short series. I'm just sorry I'm letting you all down. As for what the future holds for this channel, I haven't decided yet. Don't worry, I'm not changing it into a game dev vlog channel. That isn't what you guys signed up for, and I would make an entirely new channel if I wanted to do that. There's a number of things I could potentially do. I might do Final Fantasy XIV things. I might not do Final Fantasy XIV things, I guess we'll see. I probably won't be doing anything crazy like turning this into another Final Fantasy XIV opinion channel. I don't think you need another person telling you that Dawn Trill's story is shit. As I mentioned before, I still stream a fair amount on Twitch, so if you want to get in contact with me, I'm usually over there. I might upgrade to streaming on YouTube as well. I've heard that YouTube chat is somehow significantly worse, and I don't know how that's possible, so I might be curious to see for myself. In any case, apologies for leaving you guys hanging for so long. We'll see what the future holds. Take it easy, guys. Catch you next time.